So I'm going to confess that I only saw Jaws for the first time in Hungary in 2022 in a Budapest Airbnb. And it's like, how did I never watch this movie before? It was like, you're looking at Star Wars, right, 1977, and you're going, I can see why people went mad for this, and it still holds up. That's how I felt about Jaws that only came out 2 years previously. And I love that I finally got the nail scratching on the board to silence the room. Like, I've seen that a million times in other things. That reference is just done to death. But is it worth going to the cinema and watching this in 2D or 3D, this 50th anniversary edition? Well, the reason why I decided to give this a shot was because, as I said, I hadn't seen it in the cinema. And first of all, you knew the cinematography was going to be amazing. This film is intended to be watched in the cinema, but in 3D. Oh my God, like, Steven Spielberg was ahead of his time, and you look at the way that he's done it with like things in the foreground, the background, all around, you can get that depth that you need. Some modern day 3D films aren't worth it because they don't have enough, right? So how the hell did he think about that? He was ahead of his time. Now he's with the times. So personally, I wanted that cinema experience. Maybe for an older film it isn't worth it for some people, but also the John Williams score. I mean, I wanted to hear that in the cinema. Obviously I've been treated it with Star Wars and other movies, but Jaws, hadn't even seen it until 2022, now I've seen that in the cinema and heard it, and that's important. It is a great score to hear. Jaws is just so iconic though. People know it whether they have seen Jaws or not, it doesn't matter. I knew loads of Jaws stuff, whether I knew it was Jaws or whether I didn't, the nail scratching, didn't know it was Jaws, but you get references whether you actually know where they come from or not. It's that big. And the water scenes in 3D, see, I hadn't considered this. The way when the water starts splashing closer to you, it's kind of hard to explain. I mean, obviously when the shark's in the water, it's menacing, but it makes you feel like you're actually in the water. And I hadn't considered that would be a thing before. Some stuff I was like, will it be good with that? Won't it work with that? I think it will work with that. And you go through it afterwards, especially if you're doing a review show. But the water was a surprise. Like, that's the water graphics, I'll call it. And shock horror, wouldn't you know? Spoiler, water plays a big part in a shark film. And genuinely, I've gone in oblivious to that some people in the cinema wouldn't have actually have seen this, or no, not at all have seen Jaws. And some of them were being shocked by stuff. So that was really nice being in the cinema, having that experience as well. When you go into a movie, like probably the best one I've seen is Avengers Endgame in terms of the feel of the audience. But I've had other ones. The In-Betweeners was shockingly a highlight. But you really felt it in the audience. And so that was an experience that I valued. If you value that, it's worth it for that. I mean, the 3D I've told you is already good. You'd get the same with the 2D, to be honest. Like, the 3D I think makes it better. It's subjective, but either way, 2D, 3D, you'll get that audience interaction and, you know, oh, we're going to need a bigger boat here. It just pops better on the screen, which is how it was made. And in conclusion, if you get a kick out of seeing something in the cinema full stop, because some people just like seeing these older movies redone anyway, if it's your first time watching it, you're going to love it. Either way, it's just going to be a good experience. I don't normally go in for this sort of thing, but I really enjoyed it personally. And as I said, for some people, it's just not going to be worth it. They just want to watch at home. Maybe you have that good a surround system. It was better than the Budapest flat, but I won't hear a bad word about it. That was actually one of my top Airbnb stays. But what did you think? Did you enjoy the 50th anniversary edition? Perhaps you just wanted to stick with the original. Comment below. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell for more content from this channel. Your support is appreciated. And until next time, I'll see you later.